Hi, I'm Sushant Divgikar. I'm a singer, performing artist, actor, LGBTQIA plus activist, and India's first mainstream drag performer. Today, I'm joined with the legendary, in my opinion, Sona Mohapatra for JioSaavn's Ally Hour, where we will be celebrating LGBTQIA plus Pride Month. Sona Mohapatra is a singer, music composer, lyricist, and in more ways than one, my mentor. Welcome, Sona ma'am.
Such a joy to be here. And Sushant, I'm totally okay if you just call me Sona. This ma'am, I think, started off in Saregama Pa, and we can keep it aside. What we are celebrating more than anything else when we are having this conversation is like absolute complete freedom. And I intuitively go with my heart on things. And the day I met you, I knew that you are an artist that connects to me in the soul because you are so unabashed on stage. You just own yourself, and and I just love that about you. So yeah, whatever makes you comfortable, but yeah, Sona is fine by me. I think I'm a live performer. That's my strongest identity. Yeah, and I feel proud that we got to share a stage too, because
Yes,
yes, you are a fabulous
yes.
performer yourself, Sushant, or
Thank
Rani.
you.
And I love the duality of it all. I think all of us carry a duality within. And what
Thank
duality?
you.
I think multiplicity within.
And
Then
speaking of which, a lot of people ask us what an ally means. I would just like to tell everybody that this is exactly what an ally must embody. All this acceptance, this unconditional love. According to me, this is the perfect example of an ally. So, in fact, Sona ma'am, you will always be ma'am for me. I'll tell you because you have really supported me, and on a stage where I was not sure of myself, and you just held my hand, and you gave me so many historical moments that I can never forget. So for me, that you are a mentor in more ways than one, and as I said, having said that, ally, for the people that don't understand the term ally, means somebody who uh, is supportive and accepting of an LGBTQIA plus individual, and is accepting of their choices, decisions, and just basically doesn't discriminate with their orientation. Your love for the community I have seen, and you had even joined us at the Pride March last year, I remember very well, and 2 years, in fact. As I said, and I'll say it again, that you are the embodiment and the epitome of an ally. Thank you. Thank you so much for
let me
again coming.
say that yeah, there are no thank yous required, because I don't think anybody is doing any favor to anybody by saying that I love you for what you are, and not
Thank you.
by be it the way you look or your sexual orientation or your gender or anything. And I must admit that I grew up in an environment which was fairly conservative. I never had a gay friend till I was 20, and my first band had a gay band member, Krishna Marathe. I still work with her off and on. Now she's Krishna. She was Chitra then. She shifted her name, over time. And she was a guitar player,
Right.
fantastic musician. I used to share a room with her, and I used to be very curious. I was like, I cannot be uncomfortable. I can only be curious. If you're not aware of something, all you can do is be curious and try and find out more. I met Lakshmi Tripathi many years ago. Again, what a firebrand. I didn't see her as, she's, I
Yes.
think, one of the leading lights of the Hijra community. We were on fire, and we were like two alphas in a room. People associate alpha with only men. And I call
Yes.
myself an alpha female. And Lakshmi Tripathi is
Absolutely.
another
Lakshmi.
star.
Oh, Lakshmi is like, she is only all the time. She's energy. In fact, I was just talking about her, and whenever there is a conversation about the community, Lakshmi's name has to be involved because she's been at the forefront of fighting for our rights and fighting for the trans people and transgender rights at an international level as well. She's represented India at the United Nations. What else can you say now?
I read this book called The City of Joy, and The City of Joy has a very detailed account of the Hijra community in Kolkata. And I was
Right.
gobsmacked to realize that it's such a powerful, strong, huge community.
Yes.
There are layers within that, there is a hierarchy
There are
within that, there are
gharanas.
different
There are
kind of,
gharanas as well.
there are
Yeah.
gharanas. And I, as a musician, I could connect to it because the Hijra community has
Yes.
also a whole genre of music of their own. In fact, Lakshmi and me were
Absolutely.
planning a collaboration. It never
Oh
happened,
wow.
maybe. We should all
It
three get
should.
together and do a musical
I
collaboration.
think that
Yeah.
would be fantastic. I think if that happens, that would be just on another level. So, speaking of which, we have been time and again, we have been educated, but I think it's also selective information that we like to retain. That what makes us uncomfortable, we just completely stash away. My thing is that, how do you think, and what are your tips on making industries and spaces more inclusive? What do you think we should do?
To start with, many more people are allies, so to say, because even as somebody who is now branded as a feminist, but I've always actually stood up for uh, every community which is othered, if you know
Right.
what I mean. We
Yes.
are in the others. So I've,
Yes.
I've always had the justice bent. And my thing is, the only way we can go forward is to find allies across board, to start with people within the industry who have a voice and a platform. I don't think it's just the community's responsibility or your responsibility.
Yes.
Be it me, be it 100 others like me, be it a lot of people. Right now, social media, for example, is full of virtue signaling. Have you
Yes.
noticed? I mean, everybody has a cause and everybody puts up an organization because it helps the PR. But the truth is, दूध का दूध पानी का पानी भी हो जाता है. And yet I think there have been very positive shifts, be it my friend Onir, who's a filmmaker,
Yes.
who has constantly owned his identity as
Right.
somebody who was openly gay,
Right.
has put out film after film, has built a network of allies within the, even what
Industry.
do you call them? I'm not good with these terms, the heteronormative
Yes.
lot.
Yes. Yes. Heteronormative.
Honestly, our folk music culture, be it our mythology, it has always taught us to be much more accepting. I think our mainstream, our gatekeepers here, need to get out of these, the jokes and, making it just one kind of a narrative when it
Right.
comes to the community.
In fact, my
We need to.
next question was about, the jokes that we make or the content that we create around, making iski kiliya udao, make a joke about, just add an LGBT character just so that, you have comic relief. All these things, what do you have to say about that? Because our films are so impressionable for the youth. They cause so much of an impact on the youth, and this is what we kind of have been not taking these roles and stuff seriously. Now, of course, in the recent past, there have been there's been material that has come up with more dignified representation of LGBT people, but
Yes.
for decades together, they were doused and they were sort of fed down their throats that, LGBT people means make fun of them, they are sexual predators, they're this, they're that, laugh at them, abuse them. So, ma'am, how do you feel that, we could create, a more conducive environment for everyone to grow?
I think it starts with opening up our heads, right? Right now, fortunately, it's a young country. I see only hope and, not doom and gloom, because I think our young country is connected on their cell phones to the whole world. And the
Yes.
whole world right now is bursting with very interesting content when it comes to the LGBTQ. We need to normalize the characters, as
Right.
not good or bad. Some of them are bad. We don't have to patronize them as,
Yes.
either perfect, or we don't have to patronize them as, fun,
Right.
anything. They are
Right.
normal people just like
Right.
anybody else. They'll have their
Right.
own flaws. And there's this landmark documentary again which comes to my mind, because I'm hoping people who are interested in, called Paris is Burning.
Oh, I
Again,
love Paris
landmark.
is Burning. All our drag references and all come from, documentaries like Paris is Burning. And you're so right that, we have to put it out there in the mainstream and normalize LGBT people, because as you said, we don't need any special treatment. Neither do we need to be treated as, below human or, subhuman. So I think that we
And
need to just
I
be
must
given.
correct, you need special treatment for a time. This is what I say, that there's been a deficit. And an effort has to be made to say that let us make more inclusive narratives. I mean, come on, we are
Yes,
that way. हम इस जमाने में हैं, we are not able to give women equal roles. They come as
exactly.
decoration. Mirabai was this fantastic singer, songwriter, fabulous artist from 400 years ago. But we were more comfortable making her into a bhajan, and she was a rebel rock star. She
Yeah.
was talking about sensuality, putting out, writing erotic poetry, talking about falling in love with a man outside of a husband. So much of brave stuff.
So that's exactly what I was saying, that we play with what we're comfortable with, we take
Yes.
what we're comfortable with, and we'll say that acha iska character sketch hum aise banayenge, because she used to usko abla nari jaise dikhayenge, and and this and that. So but I have realized, ma'am, that for everybody, and this will be across social stratas, that music has played a very important part in any
Yes.
LGBT person's life, or any child growing up. Music is very therapeutic. Music transcends these boundaries that we create. But even in music, usually when we talk about a love song or something like that, a lot of times what happens is that a woman is shown falling in love with a man,
Mm-hmm.
or a man is shown
Mm.
falling in love with a woman. That's why we loved Cher, and I'll tell you,
Yes.
we loved Cher so much, because she was, first of all, she just said, "Do you believe in love after love?" And
Mm.
we were like,
Oh, my
"Amen,
favorite
sister,
song in my
amen."
college, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think that also, as you said, that it has subliminal meaning and messaging, and it's also subject to interpretation of the listener. But do you
Of
think that
course.
we should also create gender neutral content, which we can allow the audience to then sort of pick up and acknowledge and say that, okay, you can interpret it the way you want to. But I have personally noticed, and I'm also not going to shy away, because aakhirkar hum aapke hi gharaane se. But I will say this honestly, that a lot of people need to understand that the lyrics, the content that we're feeding our this youth that is so impressionable today, it can be improved tenfolds.
When Madonna put out Vogue, the music video,
Yes, yes,
the lyrics have nothing which tell you about what she's trying to signal. But when you see the video, it
yes,
catches you. It tells you much more than if you were preaching or you were all going nanga and necessarily trying to, show, you're in bed.
absolutely.
Own your identity or own this. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. But we need to be aspiring towards creating music and art which is more subliminal. I start every concert of mine, even wherever I go. Like, I managed to even tour in the heartlands where 2 lakh people
Right.
show up, and I feel it's such a powerful platform and opportunity for me to be
Yes.
saying things without having to literally say it. I start
Yeah.
every show with Gai Jagmangal Gan, Shiva Parvati ka milan mahan, Gai Jagmangal Gan. So I do this ode to Shiv Shakti. I
Wow.
start every show with this, and many a times I'm dressed with this Ardhan Arishwar thing, and with belts, with boots. Somewhere you have to be subversive to make your
Yes.
point. I think we all have an opportunity at any given time to challenge things and
Yes.
shape the coming narrative and keep negotiating. We have to keep negotiating. That's one thing I've realized. Even as a woman, I'm constantly negotiating. I can't always get angry. Even sexual identities and the fact that the world is opening up, there is a law in place right now in India which legitimizes the whole thing, and it's about time. We are in 2020. The corporates, every brand has to wake up and not do this tokenism nonsense. They do that even for the feminist angle of things, and now they would do it. We also have to, I think, own the fact that our culture actually empowers us, symbolically tells us that all of us are valid as beings and identities. So I guess it's about just renegotiating and negotiating and challenging. Thus we can probably shape a.
Right. Right. And I hope and I pray that we have more and more icons and support coming in from our allies, like yourself, like Usha ji has been also very supportive of the community even at her age. And a lot of people think that it's also very age related, कि अच्छा ये नहीं नहीं ये मतलब किसी और जमाने से उनकी सोच है. It's nothing like that. I mean, my parents are above 60, both of them, and then I wish and pray and hope that the generations to come have more LGBT representation that they can see in pop culture, and they can sort of, as you said, they might not have to be gay like a Madonna or like a David Bowie, or like a Lady Gaga and an Adele. You see their content, and I hope one day we can also say that we have someone who's internationally acclaimed for the music, the content that they create, and I think that it should come. come within the community, it should come from community, it should just basically be there. I think we need to create a space, and with allies like you, I think that that day is not very far, that that happens.
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you, thank you so
Big
much.
love. Stay safe.
Thank you,
Let's,
thank you.
let's get back
All right.
one of these days
Yes,
soon.
to
Bye
work.
bye.
All right, that was Sona ma'am, as I will always call her. That was an absolutely amazing chat, and it was so informative, even for me. So, thank you all so much for joining in, and I hope it was as informative for you all as well. I'd like to thank JioSaavn for creating this initiative and engaging us in this absolutely wonderful dialogue and conversation. We hope that you and your loved ones keep safe during this lockdown, and I hope that we get to see each other much sooner than you think. Also, I would just like to say, be an ally. And if you can't be an ally, then just keep quiet, but try and be an ally. Try and be nice to the next person. Try and be nice to the people from the LGBTQIA plus community, because they're as human as you are. Thank you so much. With that, I am Sushant Divgikar, aka Rani Kohinoor, and it was a pleasure. Happy Pride Month.